Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Coffee Talk. Everyone have their coffee?
Oh.
Cheers. Good morning
Cheers.
to you. This is our first ever episode of Coffee Talk. So we thank you in advance for your patience. We're having some challenges figuring out our technical difficulties here, but we are excited to be with you. We are your hosts of Coffee Talk. We are the small but mighty team of 3 representing Southborough Youth and Family Services. I'm Sarah Castle. I'm the director of Southborough Youth and Family, and with me today are Megan Island, our assistant director. Wave, Megan. And Shannon Knyman, who is our program coordinator. Thanks, ladies.
Morning.
So let's see, where do we want to start? Maybe Shannon, part of our goal with Coffee Talk is to provide a space for people to come and share their thoughts, their feelings, their stories about what's going on in their lives and their neighborhoods, and have an opportunity to talk about it. There's not many places we can go right now, and it's kind of hard to connect with one another. And so we wanted to provide a space for people to be able to do exactly that. So along the way, we're going to be having some guest speakers join us. We'll be talking about various topics. And we invite you to write into us to let us know what's going on with you. And we're happy to take your letters and your questions to the show and talk about them with our panelists. So because we need humor right now, because we need lightheartedness, we intend to laugh. And so Shannon, do you have anything funny for us this morning that we can start our...
I hope so.
You hope so. Okay, what you got?
Yeah. So probably funny right off the bat is that I'm in a screen share, and as we just learned, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's see how this goes. Drum roll, please.
Let me pull this up here. So put together a little slideshow called Children Through the Ages.
Okay, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works. Megan, tell us a joke. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I can make some funny. Oh, here we go. It's working.
So, I thought we'd start with pregnancy.
Okay.
This is a throwback picture when my kid ate whatever I made for dinner without complaining.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yep.
I miss those days.
Yeah, me too. Babies. So you will never sleep in again, and that's true.
Yeah, he looks like the Godfather 18. In that picture.
He does.
Yeah.
Then we've got preschoolers. We all know how that goes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Then the kindergartners, they start to come into themselves.
He's got a big neck. This 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, this isn't a picture of a 5-year-old.
Yeah, this is a 5-year-old.
Okay.
Right, went to the museum with her parents, and couldn't keep it together after seeing this picture.
Yeah. I would say his face is kind of disproportionately small compared to the rest of him. He could be a 5-year-old also. It's hard to tell with a neck like that.
Right. In a mouth that big. I don't know if he'd be able to tell you he's 5, so. Childhood. This quote, if parenthood has taught me one thing, it's that it is possible for a kid to shower for 40 minutes without actually getting clean. I find this with my own children, that there has been a smudge of dirt behind both of their ears for all of quarantine. So
yeah.
that's
does I often wonder if running through the sprinkler or swimming in the pool counts as a shower, because it's been a while in our household,
I
unfortunately.
think so.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, you think so, Megan?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. I'm good.
Tweens. This is trying to get a little autonomy. We're not cool anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then
That's great.
finally, Nora Ephron says about teens, when your children are teenagers, it's important to have a dog so that someone in the house is happy to see you. And that's children until they leave for college.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hope, I don't know about you ladies, but in my own experience, I hope that what follows after that is coming back to your family in your young adulthood. I remember going through all of those stages and then being like, Mom, I'm so sorry. You were right.
Right.
You did know what you were talking about. I need your help.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to have some parents of young adults on the show to
Yes.
let us know how that goes. I have
Yes.
a tween, so a tween
Yeah.
and a 9-year-old, so
Yeah. So can you relate to those things?
I really can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I have,
Yeah.
let's see, what stage was it? Probably the 5-year-old with the funny neck and small face. That's where we're at right now. Yeah. We laugh
Although-
hysterically if anybody says something like bum in our household.
Right. Well,
Yep. Yep.
but
And they
then again,
find every opportunity to do so.
right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as an adult, sometimes I feel that way too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it's not reserved just for children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. Well, so our plan, by the way, I failed to pay tribute to Linda Richmond at the top of our show. Hopefully you all watching know who Linda Richmond is. Coffee Talk, our Coffee Talk, was inspired by the Saturday Night Live skit featuring Mike Myers as Linda Richmond. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please make sure you take the time to look it up.
Yes.
We'd like to thank my Uncle Paul for recreating the jingle for us so that we could do our best tribute to that skit. And again, all out of humor. We're not, hopefully Saturday Night Live doesn't take us to court or anything over this. I hope not.
You're not going to get much if they do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. An apology, I guess. So again, our purpose in having this talk show is to be able to support people. So we had a resident write in to us to talk to us about their situation. And we hope this is the first of many, not because it means that people are struggling, but mostly because we would like to connect with people and find out how they're doing and see how we might be of help. And also, we just need each other in these times. So I'm going to read her letter. It says, Dear Coffee Talk, where do I begin? The past 3 months has been so difficult for not just my family, but also every family. Hard to know where to turn for support when everyone around you is experiencing the same high levels of stress. I appreciate you providing a place to go. Since the start of this pandemic, my husband and I have been home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with our 2 very young active boys for the last 88 days straight. Ugh. My husband lost his job in late March, and I have been continuing to try to work full-time from home. My husband is burnt out. I'm burnt out. My kids' needs are constant. The house is a disaster, and we're struggling to make ends meet. My husband and I have always been a great team, but lately there's been a lot of resentment between us. I'm worried about my mental health, my kids' well-being, my marriage. We all feel pretty desperate for a break. If you have any words of wisdom for me, I would appreciate hearing it. I need all the help I can get right now. Thank you, Coffee. So that comes to us from a resident named Amy. And I wonder if you ladies have any responses to poor Amy. I guess I can certainly relate to what's going on with her.
Absolutely. Have a lot of empathy for that story.
Yeah.
A lot of us are there.
Yeah. So Shannon, you have kids at home, right?
I do. Yep.
Oh, you also have 2 boys. I have 2 boys also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe one of us wrote that letter.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, but I mean, any of us could, so many parents right now are dealing with this, that, it could come from any of us, that the feeling of just being trapped, it's incredibly difficult. So yeah. So I wonder, one thing that struck me in that letter was, I wonder if Amy knows. So one of the things that we do in our office is we do need-based services. And I hope that with her husband losing his job, that, they've connected with unemployment and any other benefits that are coming to them. But I, in our office, will help people find some of those benefits if they're having a hard time with it. We have an emergency fund that if people are having a hard time paying bills, there's a cap to what we can help with, but it's definitely a little bit of help that we can give. And we are well connected with the food pantry if people need to or want to utilize the food pantry. So there's a lot of services that Amy and her family can access through our office.
That's great. So Megan, I know you are, so our office employs myself and Megan, obviously, and we're both licensed mental health counselors. I wonder, as a clinician, Megan, if you have any responses to Amy's letter.
Well, one of the things that kind of jumped out at me was that right now we're all really focusing, unfortunately, on negative. There's a lot of negative things around us, and the situation itself is really challenging, and we're all struggling. And in normal circumstances, our brains are wired to focus on the negative, and that comes from very early responses that are ingrained, and it's hard to fight against that because it's our instinct. We learn from it and we grow from it. And at the same time, it can be really draining and exhausting to kind of always have those strong feelings of the negative things that are going on. So something I've been encouraging a lot of people to do, and that I've been doing myself personally, is trying to find positive where you can. And it can be hard. And yet the more actively we try to do that, and the more mindful we are about trying to find the positives, the more of a habit it can become, and we can kind of fight against that inclination to see the negative. And even if it's something as simple as, I enjoyed a great cup of coffee this morning, like we're all doing right now, or thinking about the weather, or if you saw something really nice in nature on a walk. But also sharing that with other people too. So with families, maybe finding some time, whether it's at the dinner table or when you're getting ready to go to bed, to share your positive experiences. Maybe have everyone share one exciting or funny or positive thing that happened during the day, and it can really help shift the mindset a little bit and bring some brightness to your days.
It reminds me of, I know a lot of people do the daily gratitude journals. It's probably in keeping with that. It also reminds me of the concept of neuroplasticity. I'm going to get nerdy, but I don't know if others know about neuroplasticity, but I think what you were saying, Megan, is that a lot of times we have a tendency, our automatic thought patterns have a tendency to be more negative in nature, and that's partly human nature to think that way. And in order for us to adapt new ways of thinking, we have to consciously and purposefully engage in those patterns of thinking in order to take them on as sort of an automatic thought pattern.
Right.
Yeah.
And I heard you say, Megan, too, sharing what you saw or how you felt while you were taking a walk. And that right there is super important too, that Amy and her family need to make sure that they're being active. Not even for the exercise and staying fit piece of it, but just the mental benefits of getting out and being physical, and especially the getting out piece that, maybe your family doesn't feel safe being out with other people yet, and that's absolutely understandable, but somehow getting nature into your life is so important right now.
Fresh air, sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and exerting your body, for sure. That's absolutely something that's imperative for mental health.
Yeah.
So let's see, Amy was talking to us about 88 days straight. That's how long we've been in this. That's pretty remarkable. And I absolutely can understand where she's coming from with feeling like, who do you talk to about this when everybody's, how do you receive validation around your situation specifically when everybody else is gonna, in the same boat and is probably gonna chime in with, their situation. It reminds me, we're biased because we're in this field, but I find myself on occasion recommending that people pursue a relationship with a mental health professional, because talking to your friends can be helpful, and it can certainly provide some relief and camaraderie, and sometimes it falls short of being able to provide you with meeting your needs specifically, because of that very factor that your own friends are going to have their feelings about your situation. They're not necessarily objective. And they themselves, especially right now, are going through very similar things. And so they might, this just is part of human nature, but we relate to one another, and they might start sharing their story, and soon the conversation has shifted directions completely over to what your friend is talking about. And so you don't necessarily get the relief that you're looking for when you talk to friends or family members. So what else did Amy say in her letter?
Well, I was just gonna piggyback on that too, is that if someone isn't feeling safe again because of COVID for going out to see a professional, you ladies are seeing people through telehealth.
Right. Yep, so our office provides counseling services. We are doing telehealth right now. And I would add that now's an opportune time to get connected with a mental health professional. In addition to us providing counseling, we also do referral support. So a number of people have reached out more recently to ask for help getting connected to a provider through their insurance. So that's another piece of what we do in our office. That can be a pretty daunting process, but we try to help with that also. And the reason it's an opportune time is really because there's a lot of flexibility right now with many providers doing teletherapy, so that you would talk to somebody very similarly to how we're all talking to one another right now. It's not the same experience. It's no substitute for being able to sit with somebody in person, but it does afford you the flexibility of fitting in appointments from your own home, which is kind of nice because not everybody has that flexibility to drive to an appointment.
Right.
Megan, you have anything to add about teletherapy or counseling services or suggestions for Amy?
Well, I think a lot of people are apprehensive about trying telehealth because of, like you said, it's not the same as sitting in a room with someone. I would encourage anyone who's hesitant to give it a try, because I know that a lot of the people that I work with initially were not sure about it, kind of apprehensive, but have found it really valuable. And so it doesn't, just give it a chance, and if it doesn't work out, then okay, this isn't something that's going to fit me. Maybe I can try to find support another way. And then another thing to try might be, there are also online support groups that again, since we can help with referrals, that might be something we can help find. I've been doing a lot of research on online support groups, which is, I think, for some people a little less intense than just doing one-on-one over a virtual platform. When you're in a bigger group, sometimes it can feel a little more comfortable to try something new like that. So like I said, I'd encourage people, if you're considering it, give it a try.
Yeah. The other thing too, I'm reminded, one of the other things that we do too, sometimes people are experiencing some uncertainty or ambivalence about whether they feel they're at a spot where they are ready to do counseling, depending on your experience with it. And we also offer clinical consultations. So if you just want to talk to one of us to find out, our clinical professional opinion on your situation, whether I'll tell you, I think all people benefit from counseling services, regardless of whether there's something serious going on in their family or not. I mean, it's an hour set aside just for you to talk about what's going on with you, and so I think everyone can benefit from it. But if you're not sure, we have clinical consultation services, so you could chat with one of us for like 1 or 2 sessions just to find out if you're on the right track, or if there's other suggestions we would have for you, or if we might have another resource to consider. So there's a lot of different options. You don't have to commit to entering into a counseling relationship right away if you just want to touch base with one of us. All right. Is there anything else that Amy mentioned that, so Shannon, you talked about some of our need-based services that we have that, if Amy needed any help connecting with different public assistance programs right now. And we talked about counseling services, the kids. I mean, some of this is really, and partly why we're doing this talk show is because some things can't be fixed or changed right now. And that's the part that you were talking about earlier, Shannon, is just feeling stuck. And, sort of one of the main reasons we wanted to do this was because we personally appreciated that feeling of stuckness and feeling like, where do you go when there's no place to go? Where do you get support when, you're not sure who to talk to? And so we're glad you're here. We're glad that you joined us for Coffee Talk this morning. Do you ladies have anything else, any helpful tips or anything like that you want to share before we close out our first episode? And oh, we're good. We've talked about a lot of different things. So
Yeah.
So as we said, today's our first episode. We're really excited. We have some great ideas planned for subsequent episodes. We're going to have some guest speakers with us. We'll have some fun. We will have opportunities to talk about more serious things, but we hope you join us again, and we hope that you'll write into us if you have questions that you don't want to, that you want to sort of remain anonymous. If you don't want to join us on the show, we welcome you to write into us with your questions or your situations, and we're happy to talk about them. And they're not easy. Some of these are really complicated, have lots of different layers. And we're right here along with you as we're all going through a lot of this together. So please stay tuned and join us next